to you.
And hello everybody and welcome to a Build Battles video. And you may be thinking, on Wednesday? What's happening here? It's Wednesday. These are supposed to come out Saturday. Well, don't worry. There's one coming out this Saturday too. We got you guys. But of course, today is our 10th episode, so what we are going to do every 10 episodes is we are going to show off what we have built in those past 10 episodes. And we are going to start off here at this experiment build. So, Mitch, Mitch, you can explain this.
Okay, so this is our town center for our Bastion world. You know, we got nice garden type area out front with a nice, I've been told it's a, I don't know, what, Japanese dojo type look.
Yeah, a lot of people.
I built this and I wasn't aware that that's what it looked like, but okay.
I mean, I loosely based it off of that. Because what Mitch mainly did was Mitch did a lot of this tower part here and designing that and the beacons and whatnot. And I mainly did like the stone outside, like the little stone part and these walls here.
Yeah, and pretty much everything else was worked.
Yeah, and the walls are definitely what I loosely based off of, like a dojo type look, but yeah, wasn't exactly the look I was going for, but I can definitely see how it was loosely based. Then there's just these gargantuan stone towers in the background, but they're unimportant.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so now the next place where we are at is this nice little area right here, and actually this wasn't the first build of the world. But basically after our first build battle, I was like, you know what, we need a lobby. And so a lobby we made. I worked a bit on this big glass dome. I plan on trying to make it way cooler in the future, because right now it's basically a glass dome with a tree in it. But yeah, I'm going to try to make it a bit more cool in the future. I also added this okay fountain. Nothing special, but it's pretty good. And
Riptide, come here for a sec.
Okay. What you got?
Is it just me, or do we need to hang a TV there?
Ooh. I mean, I know a glitch we can use for a TV. We can put a TV there, man. If you want TV, we can put a TV there. It's the same glitch I use for my survival world.
Okay, well, time to get into the actual build.
Yes, these are actual builds, and these were the first ever builds in our world.
Okay, so we can start on my end and go around like in a snake pattern. Okay, so the theme was newspaper. So I decided to build a massive table and put a newspaper on it. And it turned out okay.
Yeah, and like, I gave it green. I don't remember my basis, probably because I felt like the table didn't have enough work, but the fact that you built this probably pretty fast. Honestly,
we didn't have World Edit at the time.
Yeah, for newspaper, I was very I shouldn't say surprised. I was very impressed that Mitch was able to come up with this idea, because while it seems simple, sometimes simple ideas are hard to come to mind. They're hard to come across in situations like build battles. So yes, I was very impressed with this build, so I gave it a green.
In my opinion, it was a good build. I just didn't bury the blocks enough. If I'd buried the blocks more, it would have been a lot better build.
What do you mean by that?
It's all oak wood.
Oh, yeah. So over here, for some reason, like now it's not good, but while it was a super small build, it had a lot of work, it had a lot of thought to it. So it used to be there were like pages hanging everywhere, and I even made a book about how the Chiefs had won the Super Bowl and whatnot. So yeah, and then there are two villagers in here, and let me tell you, it looked like a bear shack. But I had like a minute left, I remember, and I was like, how do I make this look good? So I very quickly put some leaves down, like very at the corners and just spam bone meal and saplings, and yeah, that made
You
it.
totally missed the front right quarter. I'm just noticing that.
That made it look 10 times better. Shh.
Okay, on to flags.
Yes, this week, this week we had the idea to do a flag build, so our build had to be themed around a flag. So
this was the week we started using Hypixel themes too.
Yeah, this was. So, Mitch, please explain your build.
Oh, okay. I thought we were going snake theme, but okay.
That's what you consider. Oh, yeah, that's snake. Okay, then, my build. So, basically, what I planned to do was I planned to make it like a camp, like just your basic camp with a nice little tent in here. The tent's not the best, but I think that for as simple as I wanted to make it, that I actually had a pretty good tent design. What I did linger a bit too long on it because as a result I couldn't do much else. So I just kind of put rocks around the base. I put some nice bushes there. And I made this flag, which I thought looked very nice, but according to Mitch, it was more of a banner. So, yeah, he only gave me green because of that.
Okay, so me having a fairly similar idea to Riptide was like, hey, I should build a fort and, put a flag on it, because that's nice. I didn't make the flag high enough up. That's one of the mistakes I made. I actually built the flag first and then used World Edit to move it on top of this because I was like, oh, this is bland. And it wasn't initially hollow on the inside, but we were messing around and made it hollow. But that's besides the point. I have some oak trees. Dark oak trees to make it feel kind of like it's in a dense forest. And yeah, it would have been a little nicer if I'd put trees closer to the front, but...
Yeah, I gave him a blue mainly based off of how he turned his build around, and also because I did like the fact that he made it like it was in a dense forest, because, anyone could have just made a castle with a flag, but I like the idea of the dense forest.
We got the week. One of us focused too much on the island, and the other one focused too much on the sea.
Yeah. Yeah, so, Snake, so you can explain your island first, Mitch.
Okay, so the first thing I did was I made it water surrounding it, and I used World Edit to get the water in, and then I basically took kelp and sand and was like, let's do this, and made it all like this. I slapped the island together, got some trees on it, but I wanted to focus on the water, so then I came back and was trying to get coral around it, but didn't manage to get it all the way around, and I spawned some fish in. Overall, I wasted way too much time on the water. If I had spent that much effort on the land, probably would have been a blue instead of a green.
So now if we go over here, one thing I do want to emphasize is, like, Riptide, this looks great. How did Mitch not rate it like a blue or even possibly a yellow? And it is very important to note the sign. The water was not in the original build, so I basically made a landlocked island.
Yeah, no way would this have gotten a green if you had water.
Oh, yeah, definitely, and especially if the water was detailed. So, yeah, as for the actual island, I just made this nice little hangout area, slap some trees and bushes on it. There's not a whole lot you can do with an island. But, like, I didn't use World Edit at all in this build. So the island took me a bit of time just to shape the sand structure, but overall I'm proud of it.
Well, and because the water was added after, the structure along the side did get messed with a bit.
Yeah, that too. I wanted it to look good for the World Rewind, which I knew that we would do, but oh, it's this week. Oh, don't remind me of this week.
Woo! You have to go first too.
Okay, so I had this really cool idea of, like, a cheese factory in the northern hemisphere.
The topic was cheese.
Yes, the topic was cheese. So I was like, okay, I'm going to make a really cool cheese factory. So, I will have had this truck that's filled with cheese. And I will have had this inside here that's completely filled with cheese. But I still didn't know how to use World Edit when this time came. So I basically made this all by hand. This building, which took way longer than it needed to. And I've always been trash at building vehicles, so it took the entire rest of my time, basically, just to make this truck look half decent. And before I knew it, time was up, and I was extremely out of the loop that week, so yeah.
Vehicles are hard.
Yeah.
I have no plan to work on my vehicle building skills in this series. If I ever feel like building vehicles, I'm definitely gonna work on it in my off time before doing that, because there's no way I could even get this.
So yeah, F's in the chat, and I'm not mad at all for Mitch giving me a red, because honestly, I will have given it a super poop, but
nobody's gotten a red or a yellow yet.
Yeah, no one has gotten the worst or the best that you can get.
Mostly because we're stingy and go middle line every time.
That's exactly what happens.
But yet we're not willing to underrate them either. Okay, so now we got the ultimate cheese grater. And by ultimate, I mean pretty good cheese grater. We got cheese. And more cheese. Yeah, so we got the block here, which you obviously shred, iron bars to represent like the cutting part, and we got a bunch of shredded cheese down there.
Put in the comments if you agree with me that looks like he's grating a piece of ravioli, because that's what it looks like. Anyway, yeah, I have no clue how he built it this fast. It was very impressive. Obviously, if I gave him anything less than a blue, looking back on it, I think I was a bit salty, and I probably should have given him a yellow, because like the thing that he was able to build, like just so fast, and it's very detailed. Yeah, I love it.
You know, us being salty about each other's builds seem to be a theme.
Yeah, it's something that we try to avoid and be fair about, but sometimes, well, humans will be humans. But anyway, let's look at this beautiful build. And the theme for this week was pencil.
Pencil, 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 pencil.
Yes.
So for this week, my pencils really could have been better. I went kind of quantity over quality and built 3 of them.
Yeah, that was definitely what deducted points.
But then we got this nice, beautiful picture of a giant monster smashing a building.
And I mean, honestly, most people wouldn't see that, but for some reason, I was just like, oh yeah, that's like Godzilla. I don't know how I saw that, but I mean, I did, because honestly, like, it's pretty obvious. And like, I'm terrible at drawing, so
every person who didn't realize that's what it was is sweating right now. That's what happens to me whenever I'm watching videos and the YouTuber's like, it's so obvious.
I mean, if I tried to draw Godzilla, this is how it would look IRL. So
the funny thing is that wasn't even what I was going through. I was making doodles and kind of went around and was like, wait a minute, that looks kind of like that. So then I changed a bunch of stuff up and made it to look like that.
So yes, I think green was a very fair rating. So now, talk about redemption from last week. Oh my goodness. So as soon as I heard pencil, I just had this idea to like make a nice desk that had, someone had just finished writing a nice essay or something at their desk. So this is the best office chair I've ever made, like by far. Very good office chair.
It is quite nice.
Yeah. And I decided to put this lava lamp. The desk has very nice coloration to it. And of course, pencil, the main theme. I decided to make the pencil holder very large, and I did make the pencil very large as well compared to the proportion. Like, this pencil is as large as a lava lamp. So, in proportion, the pencil is actually very large and kind of centered in the build. So,
welcome to Minecraft.
Yeah, I love this. I love this build. This is my favorite build yet.
Honestly, if the theme was desk, this would be a yellow hands down.
Yeah, and I totally get where you're coming from, but you can only be so creative with pencil.
Yeah,
And
right.
this week, the week that turned this series into a meme.
We
First off,
got the tape measure.
no. First off, we have to start out Rip Llama 1 and Llama 2.
Rest in peace. This
Yes.
happened later.
Huh? Oh yeah, it did, didn't it? Yeah, Llama 1 and Llama 2 died. It was a very sad day, but you know, sometimes we all have to go. But now the theme for this week was
Placed him down so gently.
I know, it was so sad. But the theme for this week was Fireball. Why? Because Hypixel servers were down. So basically, for this, there's a game that we play called Brawl Stars. Mitch and I both play it a lot. And in that game, there's a character named Barley, and there's a wizard version of him, which basically throws fireballs. So I was like, oh yeah, this looks like Barley. He's gonna love this, especially since it's, you know, something between us. And when it's in friendly build battles, you know, you can do stuff like that. And I thought that the animation on the ground I made was really cool. Looking back on it, I should have spent way more time on the actual fireball, which is what I think deducted points.
What hurt your score was the fact I had no clue what this thing was.
Yeah, like, as soon as I told him what it was, he was like, oh, it's so obvious. But before that, he was like, what in the world?
Yeah, right? I was just like,
so, yeah.
Tape measure with some weird field goal sitting up.
Yeah. Football people for the win. Yeah. But
Cringing as I don't say field goal post and just say field goal thing.
Anyway, yeah, that I think it's worthy of a green. I should have spent more time on the fireball.
And then we got somebody who did spend more time on the fireball. Boom! It's beautiful. It's gorgeous. It's a fireball.
What was I supposed to do? Give him a red for its color? No. This is the theme was fireball, and if this ain't a ball of fire, I don't know what is. So, like, yes.
Honestly, the only reason why I don't disagree with me not getting a yellow was the fact that I was kind of followed the thing to a T and didn't take any creative license.
Yeah, that was one thing. Like, mine was creative, but the overall build was meh. Yours build was good, but there wasn't much creativity. Anyway.
Okay. So and then the next week, because I thought that this was a tape measure, we decided the theme for next week's a tape measure.
Yes.
So to troll Riptide, as my dog starts barking in the background again.
Lucy Lou. Yeah. Again, 500 subs. Mitch has to do a face reveal for Lucy.
Okay. And then we got what I built. Stop breathing into the mic. Which, you know, to troll Riptide, I built it the same way as that.
That alone is what deducted points. Like, this would have been great, but he just copy and pasted my build from last week.
I considered beforehand just walking up and using World Edit to copy that, and then I was like, no, that's too far.
And then you basically did the same thing.
I was actually standing here just like, that's kind of like that, and that's like that. And I'm surprised I got a green. I'm surprised you didn't give me a red.
I mean, but thing is, like, besides that, like, it's a very good build. I do like how you, like, put the little inch marks there and how it's measuring out a piece of wood. However, the build is small, and he literally copy and pasted it. So it was kind of on the verge of red, but it was worthy of green, and it was worth the memes. Now,
honestly, it took longer to copy than it would have to build something original and better.
So basically, what I did here was the theme was tape measure. So I built a tape measure. The reason that Mitch deducted my points, he said I possibly could have gotten a yellow if I had made this 2-dimensional, but I didn't, so that was what he didn't like about it. And also, he couldn't see that this was a hammer because I used the same block for the hooks and the head, but
Okay, don't tell me that at this exact angle it's not a little deceiving. Like any other angle, and it's kind of obvious, but just when you get it at that exact angle, or over here where obviously you can't see the hammerhead. Anyway. And this was where I was at for the most of the time, actually, and I was just like, what is that supposed to be? So yeah, bit of confusion happened there.
He was like, is this a crowbar?
I was like, anyway. Is this supposed to be like a...
So yeah, we have this nice hammer rack here, nice workshop vibes. There's this little desk here that has a tape measure on it that is unfortunately only 2D, and we have the classic red lunchbox. So, yeah, that was it for this week, a very strong week. And now we're coming to our very recent builds, and this week we forgot to record, so...
yeah, because Friday you were busy, I think.
Yeah, I was busy. So basically, the theme was emoji, and at first glance, you're like, man, this is really small. But when Mitch just stood down here and he was like, everywhere, faces just judge me.
It is what it feels like.
So like, yeah, it's definitely one of those things where it's like less size, and also like, these actually do look a lot like the emojis if they're just Minecraftified. And also, like, it's like abstract art. It's like modern art. You like stand in the middle of something and it gives another impression than what it is. But yeah, I think blue's a fair rating, even though it is a bit of a smaller build. So now you can explain your emojis.
For mine, I was like, I'm making it in Minecraft. It's gotta be square. And I took so much heat for that. Everybody's just like, why did you make the emojis round? Emojis should be round. I'm like, it's Minecraft emojis. It should be square. So yeah, that whole thing went down, and I have square emojis, and I still think I was right. And I also continued the theme as like you just stand here and just down the line, smaller and smaller.
Yeah. Like I would have been mad that you continued the barley head, and like. Even more, but I was like, you know what, that's gonna have a nice touch. And then we come to the next week, and
game.
I was like, yeah, there's no way he's gonna be able to include the barley head again. Nope, somehow he pulled it off by doing some sort of dice game.
Yeah, it's like, it's the idea, you go around the board like kind of Monopoly style. And except for with the wizard barley head.
Yeah, the theme was board game, by the way, for this week. So that was interesting. Okay. And then we also had to talk like pirates for this episode. So I made Yarg, I be having the chessboard from Jamaica. I won it by playing some blackjack. So yeah. It's I mean, it doesn't look a whole lot like a chessboard, but like the chess pieces. But
what are missing some?
Yeah, I am actually missing two. Mitch didn't notice until afterwards, but I'm actually missing both of the knights. But like on a small scale like this, how am I supposed to make a horse? Now, looking back, I actually could have, like, did 2 blocks and then put a lever flip down at the back to, like, do a main. But, yeah, I don't think it will have looked that good. So, yeah, obviously, here you have your tower. Here you have your, whatchamacallit, the pawn? No, these are pawns. It's,
Bishop.
Bishop, that's it. Here you have your queen, which is wearing a slightly underwhelming crown. Then you got your king, who's tall and handsome with his gold crown. And yeah, I enjoyed doing this, and Mitch enjoyed rating it. So yeah.
Well, and since since the theme was board game, not chess, I wouldn't have deducted points even if I had noticed that there wasn't a horse. Okay, petition for the last week. We make the theme Wizard Barley, and we make one build together for the last week of this row.
For the last week of this row? Okay.
Since next week we start another row.
Okay.
So like we just cut
do
this here and
yeah, so do a combined build for 10 minutes? Yeah, let's do it. Let's do that every 10 episodes as well.
Yeah, technically it'll be episode 11. Oh, how's that gonna work?
Yeah, we'll just make it a 2-part finale for each line. How about
okay,
that?
so this will be episode 10, part 1.
Yes, episode 10, part 1.
Okay, and speaking of that, it's already been 25 minutes.
Yes, very long video, but we enjoyed making it, and we hope that you enjoyed watching it. So, on that note, Mitch, take us away.
Thank you all so much for watching, and we will see you all in the next part. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.